In this lesson, we're going to see how to use a data structure, such as a list, as a field in a class, which will give us a lot of flexibility in what kind of classes we can create. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a student class. So we're going to call this program student.py. So we started off with class student and a colon. Then thinking about what we're going to keep track of for fields, our fields are going to be the student name, the student ID, and their grades. Let's say grades for the courses that they're taking. We're going to keep it simple, so it's not a real-world example. So we want the grades to be stored as a list. So following our instructions from before, in previous lessons, the first thing we're going to do is create our init method, our constructor. And so we have no problem with name and ID, but it's not really obvious how to create a parameter for grades. Well, it turns out we don't really have to. What we can do instead is we can go ahead and create a field and assign it a value outside of the constructor. And here we're just saying that the constructor does not have any part in initializing the grades field. That every time we create a new student object, it's going to automatically have an empty list called grades. So here we'll just initialize name and ID, and that's all we'll have to do. So the next thing we want to do is write a method to add a grade to the list. So we'll call that method addGrade. The parameters are, as usual, self and grade. And here we'll say self.grades.append grade. And that will add the grade to the list grades. The next thing we want to do is have a means for displaying the grades. So we'll call this method showGrades, and it will have no parameters other than self. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create an empty string, and then we're going to loop through the grades list and assign each grade to the string, like so. And then when we're done, we return grades, or GRDS, not the actual field grades. Now, I've left off lots of things that we could do, like a toString method and some other methods. I'm going to save that for the exercises. In the second exercise, we'll add to this class and make it a more complete definition. But for now, I want to demonstrate how what we've implemented works. So we'll create a new student object. We'll just use last names to keep it simple, and a very simple ID. And that's all we need to create a new instance named stu1. Then we'll add a few grades to stu1, an 88, or an 84, and a 91. Now at this point, I'd like to see what the grades are for stu1, so I'm going to do a print stu1, show grades, just like that. So let's save it, come back to our command prompt window, and type student.py, and there's the grades. So you see the only problem we have is that they're all bunched together. So what we could do is right here, add a space. Let's try it again. Much better. So in the exercises, we'll modify this class in several ways. We'll add a toString method. We'll write an average method so that we can average the grades, and any other things that we can think of. But for this lesson, I just want to isolate how to use a data structure such as a list as a field. And now you see how to do that. It's really quite simple. It just seems complex when you're thinking about it abstractly, but once you get down to the implementation, it's pretty much just what you expect it to be. So with that, that wraps up this lesson, and we're ready to move on to the first exercise of the chapter.